What is going on? What's up, Rogue? How are you, brother? I mean, if you want to fire up Discord, if you want to hop in, just give me that note on. Give me a note in the chat. Actually, do a talk stream this time while I'm painting or what have you. It's going to be an easy. Well, I'm not going to even say it's going to be an easy one. It's just going to be a straight up one where I'm just doing the basis for Juggernaut and the Medusa the other day. You know, so I guess technically a quick one, which I got to figure out because I took apart my damn airbrush and did not label anything, just threw stuff everywhere, and that's going to be fun. Putting it all back together. But hopefully everybody's having a good one today. I know everybody was like, what the hell? You did a Sunday stream. I streamed it out. I thought about cutting it down into a video, but it got a ton of views on its own. Just leaving it up as a stream. I wasn't talking. I didn't have chat up. None of that stuff. I just legit put on some music and broke my ass and painted and put a bit of myself into the paint job. Really didn't have much to say, anything else. So I just went ham with the paint instead. And it was like, I felt bad because I missed Smurf dropped in, said hi. Stranded dropped in at like 4 something in the morning. Rogue, well, I don't know if Rogue dropped in. I know Eugene, well, no, maybe Eugene didn't. Six did. David did. But some people got the notification. Other people just didn't even give a care. Let's look at Discord, see if Rogie jumped in. I mean, you don't have to, Rogue. It's up to you. You just got to let me know. Because I won't be able to hear it. I don't wear my little ear things. No, Rogue ain't in there. Okay. Update Discord while I'm at it. Make sure you guys smash like, all that fun stuff. Don't have a whole lot to say. Not much going on. Just another day in paradise, so to speak. What's going on, Stranded? Good to see you. Yeah, I wasn't even sure if I was going to stream tonight or not. But I told you guys I was going to be back Thursday. So I'm here Thursday. I'll be here Friday. And, you know, like I was saying, Stranded, that, no worries. I understand, Rogue. Yeah, Stranded. So you're right. I wasn't going to stream. And, that wasn't even supposed to be like a full bore stream. You can tell by the lack of communication out of my mouth. I just wanted to get that paint job done. I did a good job in getting rid of my Venmo, by the way, guys. Be working on the base. This is the base for Juggernaut. He's got a couple things in here that are going to be interesting to get through. And then the Medusa is pretty standard. It's just a rock. It's just standing on a rock. A lot of people were taken by surprise with that stream because it was just out of left field. I was like, you know what? I want to get this paint job done. I got all the parts sitting here, and I just felt like painting. I fired that stream up about 10:30 at night, I want to say, and went till 6 or 7 in the morning. Actually, maybe even later. I don't know, but I nailed the Medusa in one sitting, gave it to my wife. That was one of her anniversary presents. And she loved it. And I think it came out pretty decent. I was shocked because I even had to explain to my wife, like, I tried this stuff. Because at one part, I must not have cleared out all the airbrush thinner or the airbrush cleaner that I had put into the airbrush. And I was spraying on some of the stuff. It rubbed off a whole patch off Medusa's cheek. So I tried this stuff, this Mr. Surfacer 1000. Used by itself, I'm going to say it's probably a pretty good product, but trying to do it over the airbrush dried paint, it peeled, cracked, and turned it was bad. It was not good. So I'm thinking if you're going to use that rattle can stuff, you're going to have to go with pure rattle can and then wait till it completely dries before you go in with your regular. But yeah, the way I did it, I was like, oh damn, it looked like I had pieces of flesh and stuff peeling off that Medusa. I had to smooth it all out, hit it with the airbrush primer again. Like it was a headache. Thank you, Stranded. Yeah, those are the rules of the road. Um, which, what's up, Eugene? Good to see you, brother. You guys are awesome too. Everybody came in, smashed like and all that. I appreciate the hell out of that one. Um, yeah, I'm going to get into painting and, that shout out again to Spock's Beard. That suggestion about showing off the paints and what I was using and everything else. I appreciate that because I was actually able to show off all the different paints I was using and everything. And I did get side messages from people saying that they enjoyed that part, that I helped them a little bit. As a matter of fact, Spock's Beard, he's working on the Child of Gaia. I can never pronounce the name correctly, but it's one of Gaia's children that fought Zeus, the Gigantus. In Greek mythology, and he was like, yeah, the purple, I'm definitely going to incorporate that because it matches a color on a bird that is also named after it. But anyway, yeah, so the Venmo account, I'm actually happy. I've refunded 2 people their money completely, and I'll get into that. There was a third that I'm debating refunding completely, but they have never said anything. Man, I don't understand people. I don't understand people. And it's why I put in the title politically homeless, right? Why I'm politically homeless. Because I realized it through, and I can't make this shit up either. 2 Venmo donations, one for 50. The other one was for 10. Both of them said this to start their messages, right? But this cracked me up. I really enjoy your painting. I think you are an upcoming talent. I appreciate those words. Roundabouts, that's what they said, whether it was you do some great paint jobs or, you're an upcoming talent. But both of them started off their messages like that to me. And, yeah, the first guy was like, I hate, well, I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically he said, I can't believe that you're always defending that fascist pedophile Donald Trump, but he didn't spell pedophile. He put it in his PDF file, Donald Trump. And, when are you going to wake up and smell the coffee? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't defend him. I've actually been pretty damn critical on him. I'm not a sycophant, right? I watch all the other stuff. I call him out. I call balls and strikes. I do the same thing for Biden, right? The whole 9 yards. And I'm like, what the fuck? So this person was clearly on the left. And that was the $50 one. And I refunded it. I refunded it back to the person with a message that basically said, and blocked them after I refunded it too. But I said, hey, look, I'm right up the middle with everything I do and say, I appreciate you. And if you want to have this debate live, we can. If not, here's your $50 back. Take $1 of it, give it to your mom because I owe it to her. Give the other $49 to your sister, and I'll send a couple of my friends over to visit her later. And that was the first one that got refunded. the sorry, it's just a gam thing. But then the second one was, that was the one that called me an upcoming art. I see you as an upcoming artist and all that, which, guys, I'm an amateur. At best, I'm amateur. I'm working on it and I want to get really good and everything else. I'm not there yet. But the second guy's was basically, he said, and there's one word that stuck out to me that I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You're being too hard. It was basically, I like everything but your political commentary because you're too harsh on people. Sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up. STF, you, is the way he spelled it in there. And not be such a panicking. That was the word that got me, was panicking. I was just like, I refunded him his money. I said, I appreciate it and everything else, that you enjoy the art. If you want to come online and have a debate with me over anything, you always have a welcome invite. Let me know. My moderator will put the Discord link up in the chat if necessary, and we can discuss this live. But I don't need your money. I appreciate you. I appreciate you like my art. Do it in my live is basically the way I had formed my sentence back to him. Yeah, Eric July, but you know what? Shout out to Young Rippa, Eric July. He's 1,000% right. Monetize your haters. Yeah, thank you. I just got my dinner too. So Eric July is not wrong. Monetize your haters, right? The thing is, I don't do this shit for money. I've told you guys 1,000,001 times that I'm doing this because I enjoy it for one. I'm on a journey and I'm building my art. I clear my head and I have conversations with you guys. If I get any money, I want it to be YouTube money. I want YouTube to pay me for the content because basically if I'm entertaining people, YouTube's got people watching their app. They make money off shit, right? But I think they run no ads during my stuff. So they're not making money off me yet. But I want YouTube's money. I don't need people's money. And yeah, my whole thing is I have no problem if you want to have a conversation. If you want to come in and you want to have one in good faith, I'm going to expect that you're saying this is how you view America and this is what you see as the best for America because you want to make America stronger. That's actually pretty good. I just will not. Like, the whole thing is, I'm politically homeless. I don't fall in with MAGA, right? I definitely don't think Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread or the greatest president ever. He's fucking definitely not, right? This whole Iran shit is living proof that you can fuck up pretty good. That said, I also don't think he is the Antichrist and evil and all this kind of shit. And watching the way some of these people cover things, especially the alternative media, I guess is the way we'll say it in those spaces. I shake my damn head, because there's people that I like and I like watching their stuff and I admire, and they come up with some pretty outside the box points, or they're looking at it realistically. My big problem is starting to become that they think they're the moral authority on something, and they're fucking not. Nobody is the moral authority. Wait, YouTube ran a ad on your songs, Eugene? How's that possible? I don't think I've ever gotten any kind of ads on any of my streams, any of that stuff. Yeah. But with the Venmo thing, there is one person who has sent me a bunch of little thank you for the streams and has tipped me, tossed a coin to the Witcher, all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking about refunding them because I honestly, I've been retired since I was 45. I don't really need the money. And I think at this point in their existence where I'm looking at them, they kind of do. And I feel like maybe I should treat it like I was a bank and you banked on me, and I appreciate the gratitude for the streams, stuff like that. But, the symbolism of the fact you were willing to do it is enough for me. Yeah, if they run ads, you should 100% be getting revenue. Yeah, well, you couldn't be monetized. Your first level of monetization is 500 subs. I think it's like 2,000 or 3,000 hours watched. And then you get super chats, super thanks, stickers, stuff like this. Your next level of monetization is the AdSense. If YouTube picks you up as a part of the partner program, and you need 1,000 subs, you need like 4,000 hours watched, I think. And then you have to have an advertiser that's willing to run ads on your stuff. And I've never heard of them running ads on somebody who wasn't monetized. Even if they demonetize your video and you meet all the criteria to be monetized, they'll run ads on it. But if you don't meet the criteria, and I think you're at like 100 subs, right? Now, I don't know how much watch time you have. You do have to be, so that's part of the YouTube partner program. Stranded. That's how that works. That's you get your own rep, stuff like this. Like, granted, they're low level reps. But yeah, those two people that sent me those messages that I'm a panican and I'm a fascist. I appreciate you guys sending him money. And like Eugene pointed out, Eric July always says, you monetize your haters. The thing is, I don't need your money, brother. I get big, I get huge, and there's a lot of people watching. And I get the actual at YouTube monetization turned on. Okay. I'll take YouTube's money, and if people want to super chat, that kind of bullshit, yeah, I'll take it because it gives YouTube incentive to keep me running. But, I appreciate it, and you're allowed to your opinion and all that, but I also have the right to turn around and tell you to go fuck yourself for your opinion. And pretty much, unless you want to debate me live in a Discord chat, and it'll be streamed out, and I won't edit anything, then shut the fuck up. No, Eugene, that was the part, right there. It wasn't people that I've seen ever in the live chat, but I got 141 subscribers now, I think. Yeah, I'm at 141. Shout out. I think we picked up a new subscriber. We did. Since I did the Medusa on Sunday. I gotta stop saying I sound like fucking that fat ass son of a bitch with the quarter incher. But it wasn't anybody I recognized. So Rebel had tipped me one time, and I figured out it was Rebel, right? These two, never seen them before in my life. No, they aren't bots because it shows your real name when you send it over. I mean, it showed username and stuff. I don't know who these people were. Not my regulars. None of the crew of major misfits. And it was weird. Like I said, anybody who's watched me for enough time, I think you guys know where I sit on pretty much politics, and I've been kind of moving away from them. Like, if anything, I've been discussing politics more because I don't have something else to talk about. You know, I've been trying to do movie reviews, do Art Bell, do trailer, showing off movie trailers, stuff like that, which always get hit with copyrights, which sucks because it's like I'm promoting your shit, basically. Yeah, but I shake my head because I can go off on a whole tangent right now on both those people, on both sides, and why they think they're the moral authority and they're not. It's one of the reasons why I've stopped watching Tucker Carlson recently. Not because he got called out for calling Trump the Antichrist and saying I never called him the Antichrist, but you fucking clearly did because we got it on tape. I haven't been watching Tucker Carlson because he's gotten on this high and mighty, and I don't know if you guys see this too. He's gotten on this high and mighty kick of him being a Christian and a good Christian and all this other stuff, and I'm like, man, you were fucking drunk and, you know, all this other shit. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, nobody should use their religion as a weapon to show why they are the morally superior one. It's kind of like, and I've said this before, people that have to say that they're smart. If you've got to say you're smart, it means that you're actually not smart and you're trying to make people acknowledge that you're smart instead of people just naturally acknowledging you're smart. If you're pious and righteous, people will acknowledge that. You don't need to keep throwing it out there that you are. It's like you're trying to convince yourself. Like you're trying to talk yourself into, well, I'm the righteous one. I'm the moral one. I don't deal with that well. Smugness and that kind of shit. There are times where people can get arrogant. I'm guilty of it myself. But, you know, you also have to take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror. I'm awesome. Believe it or not, The Miz, you got to give him a lot of credit. I think Miz should have been Johnny Cage in the new Mortal Kombat movie, by the way. But yeah, nobody should be screaming moral authority. It's the same way, like, you know, I've definitely given my opinion on Candace Owens. Candace Owens put out a dissertation on why she got fired from Daily Wire the other day and all the stuff that Daily Wire's been doing and harassing her. And I was like, damn, Daily Wire's fucked up. And they really are. Like, if half the shit she's saying is true, Daily Wire is fucking scummy as scummy can get. And I haven't seen them come out and disavow anything either. So I'm guessing Candace is telling the truth. But at the same point in time, I'm definitely going to point out that hypocrisy of, you know, Daily Wire did this, that, and the other thing to you. And yeah, you're kind of doing the same shit to Turning Point USA. So the hypocrisy is on full display in my eyes because, you know, all this stuff that you're saying made my life live in hell and did this to me for 3 years and stalked me and tracked down all these messages and looked at what I liked and all this and really deep dove, examined and put a microscope up my butt. You're doing the same damn thing to Turning Point USA. Like, what? Like, so somebody did something nasty to you, it doesn't give you the right to do nasty stuff to somebody else. Like, maybe Daily Wire is just asking questions because that's the way you take this shit, right? And like I said, I don't think in either case it's right. I don't think what Candace does to Turning Point is right. And I don't think what Daily Wire did to Candace was right. I don't think, I think they're both in the wrong. The only one out of everything I've heard and watched and all that has a leg to stand on, that seems like they're actually the biggest victim out of everything, is Brett Cooper. Then, yeah, I mean, outside of that, the only other thing going on is what, Iran? If we're going through the damn news. Well, actually, there is one other thing, but it's more local politics. And it has me shaking my damn head. But, yeah, fucking Iran. They did that Operation Freedom shit where they're like, oh, we'll guide the boats through the Strait of Hormuz. Man, they announced that immediately. Iran hits the UAE and hits 2 cargo ships. And out of nowhere it was, well, no, we're going to, Pakistan asked us to maintain the ceasefire and all that, so we're suspending this operation. And there's some Iranian, I don't know if he's a general or what the hell he is. He's pretty high up in the ranks. Came out and said, he goes, yeah, they launched Operation Trust Me, bro. And I was like, damn, dude, the Iranians are starting to troll the shit out of you guys. I'm not pro-Iran, but yeah, you guys got to come back with some savage burns because these guys are just, they're throwing a beating on you. As far as like the public perception. Like, you look like assholes. Better figure that out. Oh, my God. But, yeah. The other thing, and like I said, this affects me locally. Nancy Mace is running for governor of South Carolina right now. Or I think it's governor. And Trump apparently is backing her opponent, which may work, may not. But they've been running ads on my YouTube now for it. And he called her Crazy Nancy Mace and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, Nancy Mace, like, she pretended to be MAGA. Like, what do you mean? Like, what is this all about? Why does he hate her so much? Well, it ties back to the Epstein thing, just like MTG. The only woman that he is not, well, there's 2 women that he is not completely gone after and try to like get wiped out and off of the campaigns and all that stuff, and are Lauren Boebert and Anna Paulina Luna. I don't know if it's because they're not up for election. I don't know what the deal is, but every other woman, MTG and Nancy Mace now, like, he's going after him extra hard. And I'm like, what the fuck is the deal with this? And then, the only causation connection I can actually find where they weren't riding with President Trump was Epstein files. That should worry everybody. Like, you're going to primary, like, I know he's going after Thomas Massie because of that. Massie, I think, voted with Trump 80% of the time or something. The only thing he didn't vote with him on was a staunch proponent of was, well, the Epstein files. So I don't know, guys. But it's shit like that. That's the ass end and dirty end of politics where I kind of stopped watching it. I have no interest anymore. You know, they're doing this thing now where they're redistricting everything. And the way they're redistricting stuff, it's like the Democrats did it, I guess, in Virginia, and now they're doing it in everywhere else. The Republicans are, and it's crazy shit. It all just feels like cheating to win to me at this point, and tit for tat, like little kids. Like little kids kicking over each other's sandcastles. Like it's weird. And it's like transparent too. That's the worst part. But people, you know, the big brain people, they tell me that I'm a panican and I'm a fascist. Or well, let me rephrase that. I'm a panican or I'm a fascist. One of the two. I can't win. I can't win for losing. So I'm politically homeless. And I think I'm happy being politically homeless, if I'm to be honest with you. Because I don't want to be told how I'm not a big enough sycophant for one team or the other. I'm going to continue to do what I do, and that's critically think, call out both sides for what they are when it's actually important, and share that with you guys. And you guys can agree with it, you can disagree with it. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own view, but leave me in my views. Like, I'm not a fascist. I'm not a racist. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. I'm not any of these fucking things. I'm just Gam. I just am. And to be quite frank with you, I also see the bigger game of none of this shit really affects. We don't have effect on this anyway. Some staffer in Capitol Hill who's making millions of dollars off oil trades, they got way bigger pull than some little jerk off online like me. Anyway, smash the like, all that fun stuff. I finished Daredevil season 2 probably about 6 o'clock this morning. I saw the final episode. Final episode of The Boys is coming up too. I'm caught up on that. But Daredevil season 2, I'm real torn on. There's some stuff I liked. There was some stuff that I was like, what the fuck? Really? You know, it's the ending of it was lacking to me. Now, I don't know if you guys want spoilers or you don't want spoilers. You have to let me know, because I'll tell you how it ends. If nobody's going to watch it, I'll just tell you. But it's your call. I got to grab, give me 1 second. I got to grab my thinner, my isopropyl to clean brushes and stuff. I'm still looking at this and debating what I want to do with it too. I think I might want to go in there with a brown and then gray out the rocks. Ugh. I think that's the way I'm going to go about this base. I'm thinking I'm going to go in with a brown, some browns here, mix them up a little bit, light and dark. Then I'll hit each of the rocks. I'll turn them gray, of course, you know, like concrete, so white gray. We got some girders in here, I-beams, so those will be red. Probably the snap points, I'll go like, I'll see if I've got a silver, like not a silver, but a steel. We got some rebar poking through. I'll probably go rusty with them. we got a tire in there. I'll give it a sexy silver rim, and because I don't feel like trying to chrome it. And then, of course, black and like a charcoal, I think, on the interior of it. Sunday, I did a shut up and paint, Eugene. I My anniversary's coming up. I wanted to give my wife something special that I just put my ass into. I put on music in the background, showed off what paints I was going to use, and if you go back and watch, there's no chat on the right side. I don't think anybody even. Well, there was a couple people that came in and chatted, like Stranded, Smurf, David, Six. A couple people came in. Poor Smurf wanted to get online and actually have a conversation, jump in Discord and all that kind of stuff. I didn't even see the chats. I didn't have my side chat open. Nothing. I was just focused on painting. That was it. It was a shut up and paint stream. I put music on in the background here and just went to town and knocked out a model that probably would have taken me 2 or 3 sessions because, as you can see, we're already at 8:41 and I haven't even put a lick of paint on this damn thing. So it was one of those, I really wanted to put a piece of myself into it, make it look good for her. And I did. And she was very happy with it, the whole 9 yards. So sometimes you just got to shut up and paint. Funny enough, I got more views not talking, less interactions, way less interactions. Less interaction, less side chat and all that. Less watch time, but more views. And I even said it, I've got to find out a happy medium of talking and painting. Because some people are here to talk and chat and everything else, which is fine. Some people are here to discuss different things, whether it be like their religious beliefs, mythology, cryptozoology, whatever, comic books, movies, TV. But some people just watch it for the paint. And like Spock's Beard is one of those people that he mutes. He doesn't even watch the live stream. He catches the replay on it. I know because he's told me this, and I'm actually grateful. I'm very grateful to Spock's Beard because he's been here since pretty much day one. And he mutes it, but he watches the painting. And he actually was like, yeah, the one part you could improve is showing off what paint you're using, what type of brush, this kind of thing. So when I go through and I'm picking out colors, I'm going to show off the bottles from now on, show you, everything I'm going to be using is going to be some kind of Vallejo. I'll tell you that right now. Unless I start getting an Army paint or one of these other brands, my whole setup is Vallejo at this point. Used to be Folk Art, now it's Vallejo. And I'll show you which bottle and all this. So this way, if you're looking for a color and you're liking, some people are watching it to see how the color lays on the actual 3D print. So that if they're painting at home, they can match that up. Like I know Melissa, shout out to Melissa, does minis. And this way she knows like, okay, that color paint is going to look like this on my model if I do it the same, not in the same technique as Gam, because I got a fucked up technique if we're to be honest. But I now know that, this emerald color is going to look like that on my model. And it's helpful to them. Oh, I do actually. There's shit. I'm going to have to put in an order for more of these things. My wet palette. But yeah, Sunday was no big deal. It was just getting me shutting up and painting, putting on music in the background and knocking one out. I wasn't even planning on streaming anything else. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even going to leave it up as a stream. I was just going to turn it into a video and do time lapse on it, which, I probably should do. it happened like that. Like it was just like, it was like 10:30 at night, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to hammer this out. Right now I have printing off too, which I finished out the body. You know what? I don't even think I started my 3D printer up. Now I'm thinking about it. I know the base is printing off, but I'm doing an Evil Lyn from He-Man. So that should be kind of cool, kind of fun. All right. So I have these sets. These are just basic color airbrush paints from Vallejo. Take them out. I'm just going to look through. Got a light gray. That's yellow olive. Mud brown, mahogany. Burnt umber. I'm thinking that would be, so this is Model Air 71.040 burn umber. I think that will be good for my base. Let's fire up the old airbrush. I think that'll go good on the dirt. Yeah, I've thought about that. Doing them out to like shorts, right? Like just a speed, like you see it in its original form, cutting out all the different stuff where I'm stopping, talking, and everything, and just doing it where it speeds through stranded, and it goes directly into like the end result, right? I've thought about that. The problem I'm running into is I'm lazy when it comes to the editing process. I've always hated editing. I'll never forget when I first started making videos on YouTube, right? So if you go back and you see before it all became lives and all that stuff. Live is easier for me because I'm just throwing it out there and you can take it or leave it, basically. But when I was doing the videos, and I had my mask on, I'm showing myself and doing the pop-ups and all that kind of stuff. It would be like film the video, couple minutes, right? A couple minutes to film out the video, and then I would have to go and edit it, and the editing process would take hours. You're like, oh my god! And even then, I was talking too much. I've got the wrong piece in this. That is a 5. I've got the 5 needle in here. I got to put the 3 needle back in to 0.03. The one good thing I will say about Neo Echo, who, that's the airbrush I'm using. The wife keeps trying to convince me to get an Iwata airbrush. And I like my Mac valve for one. But the bigger thing is I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't think my airbrush skill is good enough for it yet. But anyway, the thing I do like about this Neo Echo, you can switch from a 0.2 to a 0.3 to a 0.5 in a matter of like a couple seconds if you do it right. So you can do like priming with the 0.5, for example, and then immediately switch over to the 0.3 and just be like, okay, hammer like a normal airbrush or a 0.2 and get into real fine line and detail with it, which I never use the 0.2 because I usually get in with a brush instead of an airbrush when I'm going to the 0.2. What's up, Bubs? How are you, buddy? Thanks for coming in and smashing the like button. Good to see you, man. I got your message, too, about our mutual friend's phone being turned off. It's always great to see Bubs. Know who you are. Let's see, what did you say, Eugene? Know who you are. Know why you make this. Know who it's for. Don't drift away from that. I mean, that's pretty good advice, to be honest with you. For me, it's not just knowing who you are, knowing why you do this, or any of that stuff. For me, it's just love of the game. You know, it really is just love of the game. I like my painting. I could do this, the Sunday thing. I could do this in complete silence. I could do this all alone, but I also feel like Stranded, I think, was the one who said it. It feels like I'm just hanging out. We all just come on Thursdays, hang out with Gam, and just chill. Like Bubba will know back in the day, that's kind of what it was like. Except my name wasn't Gam back then. But same kind of principles. Everybody just hanging out and having fun and being chill. I've not seen Bob in a minute either. Um, we know his phone's still on because he's in do not disturb mode on Discord. But outside of that, I've not heard from Bob either. I hope he's doing well. I don't know if he started his new job. I don't know if he's just taking a break. He's had enough and wants to get away from it. I don't know. I wished Bob nothing but the best. He's a great dude, and I always enjoy his company when he's in here telling jokes and telling his stories. But yeah, I have no idea what's up with it. And every now and again, people just want to be left in peace, and you got to leave them there. You got to leave people. Maybe he's going through something and doesn't want to talk about it. Maybe he's gearing up to go to work, like I said, and he just doesn't have time for it. Maybe Bob found the girl that he's been looking for at some bar. I don't know. I just wish him the best, and I've always enjoyed Bob. Always enjoyed his company, and I think he's a pretty good dude. One that I have to give a shout out to though is Mister in the Discord on May 4th posted. It looked like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and at first I was like, oh, that's cool. He did Obi-Wan Kenobi with an airbrush, basically painting Darth Vader. And then I realized that Obi-Wan Kenobi was smoking a cigarette and had a whole bunch of Marvel figures on the wall in back of him. And I was like, oh shit, like it's supposed to be me. Like he did an AI generated version of me. And like I was dead laughing. I was like, that's awesome. I appreciated that. Like, and then of course I had to post in my favorite thing from Star Wars, which is execute Order 66. I love that, man. I love that in the prequels. It was one of my favorite parts in the prequels where execute Order 66 and just like the clones turn around and start dropping a Jedi like it's cool. Like they're just getting overwhelmed left and right. The only other thing I really loved in that original trilogy was when Anakin goes walking in with all the young Padawans, and he like walks into the room. They're like, Master Skywalker, what's going on? And all of a sudden, he just fires up his lightsaber, and you're like, oh, he's going to kill all of them. It was like, oh. You're going to say the same thing about a girl? I mean, hey, look, I hope so. Because that's what Bob wants. He's lonely, wants companionship. And, that's a very human thing. His wife, he didn't love her. he walked a hard road for a while there, and I can appreciate it. Like I said, I would never want to be in Bob's shoes when it comes to that kind of thing. And respect to him. He ain't dead. He's a grown-ass man. He can do what he wants. And I don't think anybody should go through life alone. Be lonely. You know, if you at least have family, friends around you. And if not, you know, she may not be Mrs. Right, but she'll be Mrs. Right now for him. That's what makes Bob happy. That's what makes him happy. And shout out to him. Hopefully that's the case. I don't think it's I'm hoping it's not like some kind of medical incident or something. I don't even want to throw that out in the ether, because I would hate to lose Bob in that respect. He's a good dude. So I'm just going in here. I'm using this burnt umber, and I'm just tagging the hell out of the dirt. And I'm probably going to go over this again with a lighter brown to give it a little bit of depth. Some of the high parts. I'm also going to come in here with a gray for the rocky pieces that are, I'm guessing, supposed to be, it looks to me like they're concrete. So I'm going to go that route with them. I'm just going to get that crap in there. We'll get this, want to get it where it looks like he's upheavaled the ground. I was almost half tempted to paint it like it was street in there because we have the wheel from a car clearly in it, but since there are no distinguishing street features to this, I mean, outside of maybe a broken pipe sticking through it. Oh, one other thing, before I forget again, I reached out to Wicked. Shout out to him. Again, I promote him anytime I can. CA3D, Berserk, you know, but Wicked in particular has always been one of my favorites because he does all the Marvel, he does the movies, he does the video games. And I reached out to him because I found that there was a model I really wanted to do for my daughter that is all the way out in Washington State. I think she's in now. She was in Oregon, but now she's in Washington. And when she had come to visit me, I introduced her to a movie called They Live with Roddy Piper. And you put on these sunglasses, and it turned out all the rich and elite were aliens, and they're basically just screwing over the human race. And she loved the movie like I did, which was amazing. She then I had to go into a whole dissertation about who the fuck Roddy Piper was. But anyway, I went on the internet and just looked, trying to find that kind of alien or Roddy Piper, and could find nothing. And the stuff I found was either way overpriced for what you were getting, or the design wasn't good, or, you know, this kind of thing. So I wrote to Wicked in the chats, you know, on Patreon. You can chat directly to the creators. And I messaged him. I said, hey, man, you know, this is what I was looking for. I found out that there's a lack of them, and I think you could knock this out of the park during one of your movie terms. And he actually wrote back. He's like, I promise you this will be up in the future. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. That one's getting A1 day one. You just read about that scene. They said it was Anakin killing off his childhood. I don't think so. I think it was Anakin bringing balance to the Force. Like, the whole thing is, from my point of view on that scene, Bubba, in particular, when you really break it down, The whole thing is, why would you kill off the young? Why do you kill off the young in anything? Why do you remove the young people that have been brought into the Jedi Temple and are learning to be Jedi? Why would you kill these? Why would you, just go savage and kill kids for no reason, or appear to no reason? I don't think it was about him killing off himself when he was younger. I think it was him killing the ideology of the Jedi. Because those kids are already affected by it and it's already indoctrinated into them. Even if they don't fully understand the scope of it, they understand the fundamentals. It's like if you want to kill a religion, you can kill off all the priests, but reality is you need to kill off all the followers. So same kind of thing. Like, I think that was their way of wiping out that ideology out of the Force religion. And yeah, that's another one too, is this way they don't grow up seeking revenge. I mean, if you're wiping out somebody's history, it's like burning books basically, but also, yeah, if you kill somebody shows up and they kill your dog, they kill your kids, they kill your wife, and they leave you alive, well, that's how you make John Wick, right? And you don't want John Wick coming for your ass. Because they are going to rise up eventually and come for you. Now if Rogue was in here, he'd be discussing this too, I'm sure. But there's a reason why there's a rule of 2 with the Sith, and it's because there used to be a ton of Sith, and a Sith Lord hunted them down and basically killed them off, where it was only master and apprentice. The reason why is because they realized that the dark side of the Force was being diluted by each person that was using it. So you will get more of the Force by eliminating people that can use the Force. Frank Castle didn't kill kids, though. He punished the guilty. Speaking of Frank Castle, I saw a spoiler-free review. Apparently, they screened the Punisher One More Kill, I think it's called, or One Last Kill, out in San Diego or I think it was San Diego, for military personnel, Marines in particular. And the guy who walked out of it said it's going to be like a John Wick / The Raid. He's like, they used actual like military strategy and martial arts in there and everything else. So I wasn't big on seeing it, but now I'm actually really curious to see it. And I think that comes out on May 16th for some reason on Disney Plus. But I want to see it now. You do a Punisher that's like John Wick, yeah, I'm down for it. It's the same way I'm kind of amped about seeing the new Highlander, is because I know one of the guys who was heavily involved with John Wick is going to be on set for it. And some of the sword fights in John Wick are just off the chain. So if they capture that in there, I'm all for it. Damn. Yeah, I probably should have gone in here a little heavier. Get a lighter dirt on here. I'm just going to test this out real quick. I just want to see what this color looks like on the actual model. That's not too far off. Just want to lighten up this dirt a bit. It's actually, I thought it was going to be a series. It's apparently going to be a movie, Bubba. It's going to be a one-shot movie. They're calling it a one-shot. This is Vallejo Model Air 71.037 Mud Brown. This is like, or as I like to call it, baby shit brown. It's like the color you would find in a dirty diaper. Yeah, well, there is a model of the Punisher that I was looking at. He's got a machine gun out and he's got another gun over his head. There is also one from Daredevil, like that version of the Punisher, the John Barenthal. Wicked actually is working on that one right now, and I've debated doing that. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I do have to do a Punisher redemption. I definitely fucked the Punisher way up. I still got him sitting around here somewhere. So I'm just going over top the darker dirt. I already did. Damn him. The hell. I'm going to have to quit smoking soon, I think. Just going nice and light in here. Not going crazy with this. I don't want to completely erase the black under, or the darker brown underneath. Just want to give her a nice little overcoat of this baby shit brown. Give it a little dimension. And I'm going to have to come in. I'm going to have to come in with those grays here in a minute. Yeah, it's real unfortunate. The Punisher I did, I thought I was nailing it. Man, I thought I was nailing it. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. And then I looked at it. It was like, I don't know about this one. And I think, shout out to Anunnaki. He was like, yeah, I don't like the face on it. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, dude, I didn't tone out the skin right. So it all looked like one color. And, granted, now it's when I was using the folk arts, but still, I was happy he said something to me because everybody else would have just been like, oh, okay, yeah, not bad, Gam. But no, I thought it was terrible. So yeah, you're right, Stranded. I do have to do a redemption on Punisher, which is kind of funny to say. I've also been looking at tech actually that I can incorporate in some of these models, and in particular, one thing that's caught my eye is induction and induction LED. I'd have to drill into them like I do the magnets, or do the hollowing in a way where I could put it in there and have it shine through. But the way it works is you take a coil of copper wire and you have to put resistors in it and stuff like this. And it's wireless. Well, you have the coil of wire on the ground, like here. Like you'd set the coil of wire like in here. And then when you take the LED and bring it over, when you get it about here, it'll light up. It'll actually pass electricity to it. And I've been looking at that as a possibility for some of the Green Lantern prints I want to do. So having a Green Lantern that actually lights up green would be, in my opinion, just a badass thing. I think that could be really, really cool if I did it right. All right. Again, I'm going in with a gray now. We are looking at, what is this? Vallejo Air, Model Air 71.050 light gray. All right. Turn down my Mac valve a little bit. Get a little more focus in there. Try and get these rocks. Not jank my dirt up too much. Actually, I should use this light gray while I got it in the gun too. Probably hit the Medusa real quick. I have to go through here and not use the airbrush and go by hand. Really clean some shit up. Yeah, just crack out top of some of these rocks. Come back through with another type of gray on top of them, but I'm going to use a brush to really get in there on them. This has a primer gray look, and I'm not feeling it all that much. Still want little breaks of the brown in there too. So this way it kind of shines through a little bit. It's actually the spoke for that wheel. That's the bulk of the stone. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. I had the Evil Lyn. I started to do the Evil Lyn model, and I break her down, I hollow her out, and I had her at like 90%. And like I said, the top half of her is printed off. I got to look and see if I even have the other part of her working yet. But I put her at 90% because I'm like, you know, should be a pretty decent sized model at that point. Like, you know, the size of Juggernaut or something. Man, this first part printed, which was her body, and it's got her legs, or her basically her top half and her arms, her upper arms, and her waist pretty much attached. This thing was just the middle of it at 90% was the size of Juggernaut. I was like, oh no. And it failed when it was printing. Like one part of it failed. So I had to redo it. And I'm like, thank God. I'm resizing this to 75% because it was huge. Like it was just stupid big. And I was like, I like Evil Lyn as a character. I don't like her this much. So I had to reduce size on it and everything else and reslice everything. Pain in the ass. But yeah, I think if I can find a really, really good He-Man, I'll do that one probably too. I don't want to do a Skeletor though, of all things. I love Skeletor is like my favorite of the He-Man characters, but I don't want to do Skeletor because I did a whole huge bust on him, stuff like this. If anything, out of all those Masters of the Universe characters I would want to do, it'd probably be Trapjaw. I think would be the most fun to paint, put together, slice down, just because he's got so many different colors to him. But also the different parts. Like he had different arms, different guns and stuff for the arms. He had a pincher claw. He had a gun. I can't remember what the other thing was, but he had a whole bunch of different pieces to his arms. Be neat if somebody comes out with that print. He, him. Well, what's crazy about that movie is I still don't know how I should feel about it, because it looks like when they're in the real world, it looks like some woke bullshit, right? And I'm at that point where, why am I going to seriously go hard in on woke bullshit? Just don't watch it, Like, don't subject yourself to it. But when they go into actual Eternia, it doesn't look like woke bullshit. It actually looks like something from the He-Man cartoon or comics. And I'm just like, I'm torn on it. I'm torn if it would be good. I'm not liking the fact that they made Ram Man's like Asian too. They actually showed him off. I'm not happy that they're using a guy named Goat Man instead of Beast Man. That kind of pisses me off too. Like, if you're going to go that far with it, then they showed Mechaneck like beating people up with his neck and his head and everything. I was just like, oh, I don't know why you'd include him. Because funny enough, if I'm thinking back on the first run of figures, Man at Arms, He-Man, of course, Skeletor, of course, Tila, and then Zodak, I think, was the other one. Maybe Beastman, and maybe Trapjaw might have been your first run of the comic characters. Or of the comic characters, of the Masters of the Universe characters, rather. I think that was your first run of them, if I remember correctly. And I don't know how I feel about any of those characters and what they're going to end up doing. That's oily steel. I don't need that. Looking through what colors. It says I don't have to go into my case. I don't want white. I need my grays. I know I have a bunch of grays. These are all metallic. Okay, silver, you belong up there. Those are specialty. That's dead white. What's this one? It's my liquid mask. That's khaki. Damn, I swear to God I had a gray. Another brown. And this is why I do not stack my shit out of my box. Yeah, these are all golds and metallics. Here it is. Oh. All right, this ain't going through the airbrush just yet. But this is German gray, model color, 70.995. I'm going to use this for the undertoning on the rocks. Already got the light kind of gray on there with the airbrush, but I want to get into an undertone. Yeah, and I think I said this. I've been watching The Boys, like, because I want to see how it ends on the TV series, which it's not going to end like it ends in the comics. At all. Like, it's way, way far away from the comics. But some of the stuff that they've done, like, they gave A-Train a whole redemption arc, because he passes away. He gets killed by Homelander. And the way he gets jacked up, he's running from Homelander. And a girl is in front of him. And, you know, the beginning of The Boys, that's how Huey's girlfriend dies, is because A-Train's in a rush and runs right through her. stops and goes, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. All right, well I gotta go," and takes off. So he like moves to avoid her, trips, and like goes flying off the road and hits a tree and gets all janked up, and Homelander gets a hold of him. But it's going to be interesting to see how the boys ends. This down and around. I almost want to go to a bigger brush. This zero brush may not be what I'm looking for. Say, yeah, it's way, way dark. A lot darker than I like. I'm going to have to airbrush over this anyway. I really should have done this to begin with, where I came in with the airbrush, but I didn't, like an ass. So, double work, double work. That's what happens when I'm running my yapper, though. But yeah, what else is going on with everybody? My big guilty thing to be watching now. My guilty pleasure is watching Kino Casino and watching the downfall of the quartering. That's been my guilty pleasure as of late, because he is just, that man has pretty much destroyed his brand. All those years online and everything else, he has. I mean, you've got. It's like nobody talking about it, really. Nobody really paying attention to him. And now it's like almost like the internet is the eye of Sauron and it's focused on him. And people are just ripping everything that he's ever done apart. Some dark shit. Which I've given my opinion plenty of times on him on here, that I didn't like him and saw him as a Timu Tim Pool and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's bad though. He really has. If he has any friends left, it'll be a shock. The internet hates him. Matter of fact, if ever you wanted to watch all that drama compressed into a pretty damn good documentary, a guy named June the King just did like a, well, it was supposed to be like a 2.5 hour documentary. It's like almost 4 hours now, because he even says it in the documentary, like, this is where this was supposed to end. However, this happened, and it's like another hour and a half, and it's nothing but the Kino Casino going ham on him. And like, I gotta say, PPP of the Kino Casino, like, Andy Worski's kind of funny. PPP is fucking unbelievable. Like, that man's troll skills, I would not ever want to be in an argument with him. Like, I was watching, I can't remember who I was watching, but they said it. They're like, this is the guy, you have those kids when they grow up and they say, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a astronaut. And they have all that passion in the world. And I want to be a soldier. And they just work towards it their whole lives. Right? This dude woke up and was like, I want to be the greatest internet troll of all time. And like, he is devastating. Just the way he goes off, he preaches like you're watching somebody in church. Like, he goes ham on people, and I'm just like, damn, dude. Like, I've never seen somebody lay down a beating like this in my life. Like, I mean, just shred you. I hope I never come up on their radar unless it's under friendly terms, because hey, that man could end an internet career in a matter of seconds with his mouth. And like the worst part is they're funny. If they were just like mean, you'd be like, okay, yeah, he's just being cruel, but like they're fucking funny as hell the way they just lay into people. And their following is growing. But yeah, I mean, you guys got anything for me? Anything else going on? Anything crazy? Anything interesting? Anything exciting? New movies that you got coming out that you're like, oh yeah, I saw this? Because that Evil Dead Burn, they put out a full trailer for that. And it looks interesting. I still like my Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell's character from the series, but he's sick right now and past his prime. Like he's dying, unfortunately, cancer. But they're supposed to do 2 of those movies. So I can't remember what the other one, Rise from the Ashes or something, was the name of the second one. They're doing Evil Dead Burn, and then it's something from, and I just know Ashes was in the title, but it has nothing to do with like Ash, like the character of Ash that I can tell. Oh, you guys are quiet. Man, I got nobody to I think everybody's just waiting for me to say something funny or do something entertaining. Unfortunately for you guys, I'm just painting with not much to say. What the hell? Wife sent me over some kind of affiliate link, I guess for Spray Gunner, which I'll promote the hell out of them. They have excellent customer service, take care of their vets, like veteran community. They have pretty good prices on stuff, and that's who that's who the wife finally found the metallics through. So I'll have to look and see what they got going on. I don't know if they'd want to affiliate with me though. I don't know what if they're just worried more about community or if they're worried about, politics. Depends. Some people get sketchy like that when it comes to my mouth running. Which, the more I look into it, the more I'm actually shocked. Some of the stuff that's come out of my mouth and other people that have been on the show that I haven't been thrown off of YouTube yet. I mean, will not shock me if I do get banned from YouTube eventually. Which I already set up Kick and I also set up Rumble. I could dual stream out to them at any time. I got to figure out chats and all that kind of stuff, like how their chat programs work. Because I don't want to just overlay it and have overlay a chat. Dance, monkey dance. Love it. Well, I mean, that's just it. In a way, you're kind of not wrong. That's what I got out of those two. Like I said, the Venmo thing, I was just like, really? Like, I don't think you guys understand. I'm doing this because I like it. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from both those messages. What was dance, monkey, dance. Say what I want you to say politically and stuff. Like, no. One, no, that's not going to ever happen. I'm going to try and tell you from my perspective what I see. You don't have to agree with it. You're fully entitled to your own perspectives. But you're also not going to force me to take a knee or kiss a ring or any of that shit. You can go to hell. And Bubba's jamming on some Black Desert, he said. Which is interesting. A lot of people ask me about that game. I'm like, I've played so many damn games like that. I'm just not in the mood for another one. Although I did pick up Valheim was on sale for $5 on Steam, so I picked it up for my PC. So next time we go in to play it or what have you, when they drop the final part to it and Smurf and I can jam through it again, I'll probably be playing through the PC. See if that experience is any better. Which is weird because I haven't played mouse and keyboard for a very long time, and it came back to me kind of quick. All right. What other darks? There we go. There's a dark spot. There's more dark spots I got to hit before I go over this again with an airbrush. And I swear I had to step up from German gray to a neutral gray, but maybe that was out of my big paint kit. Spoiler alert, probably was. Yeah, we're still waiting on Eugene to put out his bangers. Haters eat these nuts. With MCSE doing the intro. Vocals by MCSE. Shout out to SE Wolverines. I see he keeps dropping videos here and there. He always does like the nature ASMR, kind of chilling in nature. Good for him. No, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting though. Especially watching, like I said, I've been watching the drama with the quartering or whatever this. Yeah, and they've been digging into his past, and the June the King, the documentary he did. One of the things you notice is just how manipulative somebody can be online with their followers, especially if they're older followers, like boomers, right? Like people in their 60s, stuff like this, where they'll believe what you're telling them if you connect to them in the right way. It's terrifying because there was 1 month where he accidentally let slip what his YouTube dashboard was, how many views he had, all this, and how much income he had for the month. It was like $46,000 for the month. And he was begging people for money for whatever the case was. But it's insanity. Like, I was just like, damn, dude. Like, you manipulated your viewers into making you a very rich man. And still scream poverty. Yeah, Essie's been busy with work. I hear from him every now and again, though. It's always good to hear from Essie. He's good people. So now we got to go into the "What About Bob" segment. So what is the deal? Have we just been missing Bob in here, or is it other places, or what's the deal with Bob? Did he drop off the face of the earth? I mean, he hasn't unsubbed from me or anything. Matter of fact, I've been picking up a subscriber here or there. I haven't lost anybody, knock wood, twice, and thank God for that. But it's that khaki. Yep. Yeah. Stonewall gray is the color I'm looking for. Yep, we're gonna need that. Another one. Okay, so we are going to. Kind of hard to tell. They look almost the same. This one's a shade darker. So yeah, I called it. This is game color, and if the damn camera will actually pick it up, it's Stonewall Gray 72049. Yeah, well, that's just it. There's a lot of theories. Was he starting a new job? Well, yeah, but Bob doesn't. Bob will sit in the background a lot of times and not say anything. Just here and there. I have kind of decided that I will never be going into AVL's chats again, no matter what's going on, who I'm looking for, or any of that stuff. So I've kind of gotten to that point. There's a reason I'm not dunking on the quartering. I'm just telling you guys what happened with him. I kind of want to stay away from that bullshit. But AVL's one that you're never going to get everything going on, in my opinion, that you should be knowing about or hearing about or anything, because he wants to talk more social politic and instead of policy politic. And I can't be around. I can't do the rah-rah. I can't. It doesn't make me angry. I just don't want to ruin anybody's time. You know what I mean? They enjoy that stream. Let them enjoy the stream. Why am I going to come in there and be a wet blanket? So I have not been going in there. Devin would probably be the person to ask. That's, shout out to Devin. That's definitely her jam is AVL. And she's close with Bob anyway. Bob said that. There's like two people, which Atomic disappeared too. And Bob had told us a story as to why. I don't know if Bob was told a tale or what have you. I have no idea. So I just leave that alone. And I don't know what the entirety of everything to do with that shit is. Not my circus, not my monkeys kind of thing. But Devin was the other one that had Bob's number. So any of us is going to check on Bob, it'll be Dev. And who knows? Now that we're mentioning him so much, maybe the devil will rear his head. They're like, I've been here the whole time, just on beer 4. He only went in to see if Bob was there, didn't care what he was saying. Hey, I mean, like I said, some people like what he's got to say. Some people need the rah-rah. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Each their own. Just not for me. I don't need rah-rah anymore. I got a brain, a pair of eyes, and time on my hands to research. So, you know, and I'm not going to deny anybody their reinforcement or their whatever. People can do whatever the fuck they want with it. I'm not even going to rag on them anymore because, well, to be honest with you, what's it really gaining anybody if I break his, talk shit about him, or tell my point of view on it? You can go in, observe it for yourself, and decide for yourself. You don't need my opinion on it. I do think it's funny, though, that happy accidents translated over to ha. Ha ha. Good Lord. And I'm a Riri. All right, what was that? That was Stonewall going into neutral gray. If this thing will actually focus on the damn thing in front of it. Why the hell is this camera doing that? Why are you taking like 20 minutes to focus on this? I have to tap on it. There we go. Neutral gray 72.050. Oh. But yeah, I did watch a movie called Hokum too. I wasn't really all that impressed. It felt like an art school film. Like I don't know. It was like a haunted house, but he had like magic mushrooms involved. Like it was weird. It was a weird fucking movie. It just the only reason I watched it is because somebody was like, "Yes, he's the next big thing in horror, the next big name, whatever, the director or the writer or whatever." So I was like, "Okay, maybe this is some kind of clever shit." And then I watched it, and it was just not good. It was, at best. It's like back in the day, there was a movie that came out, and it had, let's say it was Gwyneth Paltrow was in it. Gene Hackman. It was called The Royal Tenenbaums. And like whatever that director's name is, everybody always read Wes Anderson or whatever. It's like, oh, it's a Wes Anderson movie and all this. And I had taken it home from Blockbuster and watched it when it came out. I was like, oh, I wonder if this is any good. Watched it, and there's people telling me how good the movie was. And then I saw it, and I was like, I don't understand why you guys think this is like epic cinema. Like, I never got Wes Anderson movies. They never resonated with me. It's the same kind of thing here. Like, it felt like somebody was making an art school film. Get some rest, Stranded. I appreciate you always. You're amazing. It won't be a late one for me either, Stranded. Probably just going to knock out a pair of bases and call it a night. It's only like 9:45, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll call it early too. Like midnight, right around. I don't have anything that's pressing that's got to go for 8 to 12 hours or anything like this. Thought about doing priming too, but I don't need to video me priming stuff and fighting with the jammed airbrush and shit. No reason to make a stream go for 8 hours unless I'm really like hardcore into painting something. I need, actually I can get in here with, believe it or not, this airbrush color. Add a little bit of water to it. So I'm using that airbrush gray. Add a little water and just go in nice and gentle over top the rocks. Make sure this thing's clean. Using number 6, actually brush. I'm going to be using a heavy brush for this one. In a way, it's crazy. With the Shut Up and Paint stream, I had moved, like I said, the entirety of the camera over. And in a way, I feel like that actually worked out better to an extent. Like where I had no chat scrolling and all that kind of stuff. It's just harder to keep an eye on because if my little side chat thing craps out, I won't be able to tell if you guys are talking or not. Not like you guys are talking a whole bunch, but you know, for anything you guys say, it'll just wipe. Another one I have not seen in a minute now, and hopefully he's all right. I haven't seen Ian in a minute. I hope he's doing good. No, he's probably just busy, but you know, hope he's good out there. Our roving reporter Rebel. Hopefully he's doing well too. All right, let's get in here with a little. I'm gonna go with, no, I don't want just plain white. I want like, what do we got? It is cold white. Where is dead white? Not it? Dead white. Nope, that's actually a little too white. Ivory is more the color that usually does it. So that is, dear Lord, ivory, and the number on it is 70.91. That's a model color. Going in here nice and gentle and just putting in a little bit of white across the top of it. Mixing a little bit of my gray from the airbrush. And just gentle with it. Give it a little distress across the top of the rock. And again, I just diluted a little bit with water and doing a light pull across just to catch that edge. It'll give it that little bit of glint so it doesn't look so flat. A little heavier here. Still got to do the girders, the rebar, the wheel. A lot of stuff on this one. Definitely put some cool stuff broken apart in the model itself. You'll notice I'm pulling from one direction. That's where I want the break and the highlight to really shine from. You're spreading it. Dude, that Hana virus, yeah. Well, now at least the Supra Center makes sense to me, or the Super Centre makes sense. What's going on, mister? Shout out to you. I love that fucking May the 4th post, by the way. I appreciated it. I didn't realize it was supposed to be me until I saw the damn cigarette in his hand. And I was like, oh. I was like, that's awesome. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, I'm a retard. I've really liked it though. That's why I gave it the heart. Um, yeah, dude, the hantavirus. My wife has been keeping me up to date on that thing. That is some creepy shit. Because it's basically like, are we thinking this might be the next COVID? Granted, there's only 9 people infected with it. Started off with 7, but now it's up to 9. And it doesn't seem like it's leaping very far, but just the fact that it was a cruise ship that was in Antarctica, a disease that's normally spread by rats, but on the cruise ship, there's no rats on it. So, like, it's just the whole thing to do with it is kind of weird. Yeah, you did the Han Solo virus. Nice. Yeah, it's some creepy shit. I know that. I think they got. I think they got till the end of this week or next week, and then Fauci has passed the statute of limitations for getting nailed out for all his shenanigans and lying to Congress. So if they don't bring him up soon, he's going to walk regardless of what happens. Not like, the pardon. Pardon ain't going to help. He's already got a pardon, so it doesn't really matter. But still, kind of fucked up. Yeah, you're not wrong about that either. That's just it. That's one of those things with the wife. She knew all about it. She was like, "Yeah, did you see what's going?" She is the one who brought it to me. She's like, "Did you see what's going on with the Hana virus?" I'm like, "What the fuck's the Hana virus? I've never heard of this." And she broke it all down to me. And she was going through it, and I was just like, "Damn, that is actually some creepy, weird shit." But I'm pretty sure if you wanted to infect, like if you actually want to do some kind of bio warfare or lock people in and all that kind of shit, you would do that where it would be a bigger populace, like it would happen in the center of New York or something, right? Then you could be like, oh, it's the rat population in New York or something like this. Like somebody from New Mexico, like you said, brought it to New York. Not a cruise ship out in the middle of Antarctica. Like, what the fuck? Really? One of the candidates for governor was talking about going after Fauci at the state level? Was it okay, so you have Steve Hilton, Katie Porter. I know there's like a Hispanic dude too. I can't remember his name. Then there's another guy who's like a sheriff or something running for the governor out there, right? Was it that guy? Like which guy was talking about going after him? The Pizza Rats Patient Zero, yeah. But do you know which one it was? The sheriff? I mean, I don't know if you can go after him though on a state level. I know the federal pardon will protect them on the federal level. I just don't know what statute of limitations or how you would go at them on a state level. All right, we are going to go in here. I'm going to. Like, I'm just simply not sure. White guy with facial hair, that's the sheriff. Well, did he have a bald head? because Steve Hilton grew out his beard. Um, the sheriff guy. Now, I don't know how true this is or not, but apparently the sheriff guy was part of a member and a proud member of the Oath Keepers. So, you know they're going to play the hell out of that to really go at him. Like, he has a history with the Oath Keepers, even though he's not in it anymore. He apparently was like, and they've confronted him on it, and he's been like, oh yeah, I was a member, I was a proud member, blah blah blah. But I think he was like a sheriff or something up there. Steve Hilton, he's actually doing well. Swalwell was the odds-on favorite up until everything happened with him, with the women coming out, which makes you wonder if they wanted to wipe him out or that was just happenstance. Usually the political machine getting behind somebody, though, maybe they knew about it and they just wanted to wipe out his chances before he got in there. Yeah, I know. Well, the Proud Boys are different than the Oath Keepers, but yeah, you're not wrong. It was Gavin. The Proud Boys were supposed to be a joke by Gavin McInnes. It was a whole joke, and they actually turned it into something. Probably was a false flag too when it comes to the Oath Keepers. Probably not wrong. Nowadays, you got to really look to figure out what's the psyop, what's what, because they're just, it all feels like an entrapment plan, if I'm to be honest. And then shit comes out like what was it, the SPLC or something like that. Can't remember the letters. I think it was SPLC or SPCL. Turned out that they were put together to fight like against actual hate groups, and turned out they were funding the hate groups. That's an excellent quote, and I can't remember who originally said that quote. I wouldn't want to be part of any group that would have me as a member, and I can't remember who said that. That was a president, I want to say, who said that, right? But I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be part of any kind of group that's like we have to be against, and like that's their specificity for existing. We need to be against this, we need to be against that. Tell me what you're for, not what you're against. Tell me what your positive end of the message is, not your negative. Anybody can find the negative. That's easy. You think it was maybe it was Groucho. I know it wasn't Woody Allen. Pretty damn sure it wasn't. I'd be shocked if it was Woody Allen. I don't know too many Woody Allen quotes other than hey, do you mind if we leave the babysitter out of this tonight? I think that's the only quote I've ever heard from Woody Allen. Hey, can we adopt another one? I think that's the other quote from Woody Allen. That's the only two I know. That dude's fucked up. Now I gotta look that shit up, mister. You got me like I'm gonna be beating my head against the damn wall. Nope, Groucho Marx, you got it, brother. I refuse to join any club that would have me as a member. That's exactly who it was. It was Groucho Marx. Good call. Groucho Marx would have been an amazing president. Telling you. I never quote the setup right, but still one of my favorite things is always going to be I don't know much, but I know that sand is sand and water is water. And if you stew cranberries just like applesauce, they taste more like prunes than rhubarb does. Still one of my favorite things because it was just so out of left field that it caught me off guard. It always tickles me to say it. I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers. Your best, your best. Winners always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Actually, Katie was the prom queen. Really? You gotta love Connery. This is what I'm using for the girders, by the way, guys. Nocturnal Red 72.111. The first time you heard me say it, it's from, I want to say Duck Soup. I think it's from the movie Duck Soup. But he says like a whole thing. Yeah, it sounds like I'm retarded when I say it, like, or you lost your nut, you know? But once you know it's Groucho Marx, it's like, oh, okay. I can't blame you there. Does sound retarded. Yeah, like if you're watching the scene, he's talking to like, I want to say like a scholar and he's pretending to be a professor. And it was like all things are relative after all. I mean, sand is sand and water is water. And if you stew cranberry just like applesauce, it tastes more like prunes than rhubarb does. There's another one where he said something, all for one and one for all and five for a quarter or some shit like that. And that was also another hysterical one. I can't remember what the hell that one was from, but I think it was Groucho who did that. Sounds like something he would pull. Or come quickly, there's a building on fire. Three men and one woman are trapped. If you can't send the fire brigade, then send two more women. He just like the whole thing with Groucho is he never ever really said anything like dirty. Right? Like Groucho was always clean with his humor, but he would do that thing where he would just lift his eyebrows a certain way and just that was the joke. Like everybody got like the dirty joke, even though he never said anything dirty. He's just a master of comedy. Very fast witted. It almost looks like a September 11th statue. Well, in a way, it kind of is. I mean, you got, like, I mean, it is the juggernaut running over wreckage, right? So technically, you could run through a building and just tear it all down. I mean, technically, you're not quite wrong. It's just instead of a turban, he's wearing a magical metal helmet. That's all. You know, he's not wearing a hijab. He's wearing a cursed magical helmet. Shit. So how is your travels going anyway, Mister? How is Canada? How's life on the road? And the other thing is, are you actually happy to be back on the road? Because I know you were home for a little bit. So did it feel good to get back on the road? Would you have preferred to been home? Some people love the road. Some people love that travel. Um, I know you like going different places, meeting new people and stuff, but wasn't wasn't sure if you're happy to be back out and on the road or you're enjoying a little bit of life at home. Yeah. Yeah, I know it me, I fucking my wife calls me the worst travel buddy of all time cuz I fucking hate being on the road. Like I love being home. I love just being home, being left alone, that kind of thing. But I do there was a time definitely where you get, I want to say it's like wanderlust, where you just want to travel all the time, go see all kinds of cool shit and really go see the world. Or, in my case, just simply America. But, that time has passed for me where I am much happier just chilling at home, being a geek on the internet, painting my toys and my dolls, that kind of thing. Is the food amazing? Really? I've never had actual Indian curry, any of that kind of stuff. It's never. My one daughter used to eat curry like twice a week. She'd make it, but I was never big on it. I think I'm too white bread and redneck, I guess you could say, to enjoy the spices in it. But she used to also make it like flamethrower hot, not like piping hot, like cooked. I mean, she would put in like, well, I'm gonna add a little Carolina Reaper today. I think I'll add some ghost pepper. I'll add something on the Scoville chart that'll just make your eyeballs seize when you from the tears coming out when it hits your tongue. But she pulled that shit one time where somebody's like, "Oh, you might not want to eat that. That's super hot for such a little girl like you." And she looked at him and took like the actual Carolina Reaper and just started eating it like it was a like just crunch, 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 and just staring at the dude in the face. I was like, "Damn, like, yeah." When you're you always sleep. So you eat hot enough food. I mean, you don't have to worry about blowing anybody out either. Like, oh damn, that one hit my gut a little wrong. I think that's part of my problem is that I'm old now. And my gut doesn't handle things the same way my gut used to handle things when I was a kid. So it'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the bathroom for like hours now. This is great. I better eat some Imodium or something before I even think about consuming this. Where before it was just like I can eat fucking like I could eat stuff that would make a billy goat like go, yeah, that's gonna hurt my stomach. But now as I've gotten older, my like even my grease trap, my grease filter's gone. eat like McDonald's or something, and I'm just done. That's why I don't eat much fast food. Besides the fact it's pretty terrible for you. Say that as I light up another cigarette. It's not a Dutch oven if no one else is there. Beautifully said. Yeah. Yeah, I may have done the Dutch oven to a girlfriend at one point in time or another, but never to my wife. I valued my life way too much. I don't want to get killed in my sleep. That's great, though. Oh, it's not a Dutch oven if no one else is there. So I was looking into something. Here's something for you, mister, because I know you're, well, we won't discuss what you do for a living, but um, not like we haven't before, but for people that haven't seen. But I've been looking at, and you'd definitely be one to ask about this. I've been looking at building building some of these models where, say, like I'm doing Green Lantern, for example, and I do it in a clear resin, putting an LED in there, and then doing an induction coil under it, where when you set the statue on the induction coil, it'll light up the LED inside, doing like an induction LED, like a little mini induction LED. What do you think? You think that would be too difficult to solder together and everything? Do you think it would be easy? Like if I'd have to drill into a certain point, but I'm thinking about hiding you because I don't. You're doing technically, well, induction. It's wireless. You think that's pretty cool? Cool. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking how I would do it. Like, I mean, I can't even show you on like a juggernaut or something. I would need somebody with like some kind of light to them. Um, shit, I don't know. But I was thinking about it. Like, I could do it where, say, like Juggernaut was stepping on something here, and you had, I don't know, like a street lamp in here instead, and then taking the red, yellow, green lights on the traffic light, and then like actually like drilling in there, getting the wireless mini LED in it, maybe covering it over with a little bit of clear resin, do a UV cure on it so it's sealed in there, and then like maybe take the bottom of this and cut it out and do the induction coil in here, so then it would light up when I plugged it in. There you go. There you go. Jedi lightsaber. Well, Tony Stark's chest would be perfect. That's a great example. Like if instead of doing it where it's full 3D printed and closed off, I would leave it open where I could drill into it and then sink the wireless mini LED in there, do a clear resin over it, and maybe do a light transparent blue paint over it, and then put the induction coil into the actual base. So when you set it down, the Stark reactor glowed, or do the same thing with his eyes. I don't know how difficult it would be. I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be all that difficult to do. The hardest part, I think, would be drilling in and not cracking the model in half. But considering I've been doing stuff with the magnets when I do the head changes, I think I've gotten it down to not a science, but I've gotten better with drilling into the resin. But a Jedi's lightsaber could be pretty cool too. The thing is, and this is where I'm going to get, I get in my own head about it, because you can, of course, get the LEDs in color, but I'm thinking that I might be better off getting them in just pure white and bright as I can white. So this way I can just paint over. Like I can do that thin layer of resin over it so it's sealed inside, because you're not going to have the electronic go bad. The LED shouldn't go bad either. Unless you got it on 24/7 for like a couple years. But doing an induction coil underneath of it, and then it could be like you just set it on the base and it glows. But I've definitely been thinking about playing around with stuff like that. I was just curious, how difficult is it to do? I haven't looked up anything on it just yet, but I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I wonder how difficult that would be to set something like that up. And if you'd know offhand, like, yeah, that's not difficult at all. It's just mild electronic work, just setting certain frequency for your induction coil to react. Like, there's two people I could talk to about it, you and Forever Demonetized, because Forever Demonetized, shout out to him. He was in electronics shop when we were in high school. So he he built a stun gun one time. That was fucking hysterical, out of capacitors and everything. Screwing around with it, shocking people. Crazy fucking high school I went to. But yeah, just trying to come up with some fun and clever ideas. Something to change up the models where it's not always just paint, but it's got a little bit extra to it. Like you could do like a Superman and do it where his eyes light up red, like if you did Evil Superman or some shit. Because I did this thing with the Medusa, where when I did Medusa's eyes, her eyes and her snake's eyes, if you take a black light, like, because I have hopefully it picks it up on camera. Let me see. So I have this, which is a black light, and it'll make shit glow. And I painted Medusa's eyes with this green Flura. And it's kind of hard to see. Well, not really. But how it like lights up. And I was showing my wife. I held her up. I was like, check this out, and hit her with the black light, and like her eyes lit up. And you could see the pupils and everything. It was pretty cool. Martian Manhunter would be a good one to do it with. Yeah, you're not wrong. Evil Superman. But yeah, I've been thinking in that realm too, where I'm starting to think beyond just the paint and the model itself, like getting the sculpt right and all that. Thought about maybe doing it with, no, because Dr. Doom doesn't have any glow parts to him. Riddler doesn't either. They're set to get primed here. Evil Lynn I've got right now. She's cooking off. I don't think she'd do it either. I don't know. Maybe Thor with lightning. Do his lightning where it's glowing. Homelander from the boys would be cool, especially if I can find one where his eyes are like lighting up. That's actually a good call too. Homelander would be a good one to do it with. Which I don't know if you've been watching. I know you're not real hard into any of the nerd shit, but the comic book, they went way far off comic book on the boys, and I'm caught up on the show. and it's definitely getting interesting. It's getting crazy. You can tell they're in the last season of it, like they're rounding for home. Doing something for Tron would be boring to paint because it's really just a dark gray, almost black. But doing the L cars or the inlay on them, you would have to do all of it in like a clear resin. Like I would have to do the entire model in like a. So if I were doing Tron, for example, if I was doing Sark, I would have to do them in clear red and then paint in the gray. If I was doing Tron, I would have to do them in clear blue, paint in the gray, put the LEDs in the center or something like that. So this way the light's coming through. But you're right, that would be pretty badass. I think there's actually a Quora model from Tron Legacy. What's her name? Olivia Wilde played Quora, like the girl in that. The Boys is really one of the only shows you watch. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think about him taking the firecracker out? I was like, damn, like when he killed her. I was like, ooh. See, so what screwed up is in the comic book, and they're not going to do it in the show. They can't do it on the show. In the comic book, the way they kill Homelander is because it turns out Black Noir is a clone of Homelander. And the two of them basically like kill each other. They get in a whole big fight in front of the White House and they kill each other off. They can't do it on the TV show because Black Noir isn't a clone of Homelander. I mean, I definitely like the part where he's like, "Your heart's beating like a rabbit on hair or on crack," and she was just like, those pills I was taking to make me lactate messed my ticker up something bad. I was like, "Damn, dude." There is a whole big thing too with the girl who plays Starlight on that show, where Megan Kelly came out and she's like, "Look what she did to her face with plastic surgery and all this other stuff," and showed this picture. And it turned out it was just makeup and bad lighting in the picture. She didn't actually have the plastic surgery. And then she fired back on Megan Kelly and went off. Can I get away with this? I think I can. Yeah, Firecracker was an interesting character. Um, I got a kick out of Soldier Boy. Willie Steel 70.865 is what I'm going to use for the little bit of this metal poking out. Oh, that's got to get shaken up way more. Some of the characters on there they did a great job with, though. I liked, and I was saying this earlier, the fact they gave A Train a redemption. Because that redemption's ultimately what got A Train killed. If he hadn't moved to avoid that chick, he definitely he might have. I don't think he would have outrun Homelander, but he would have been able to dodge him, and maybe get away. But he pulls that dip move on that chick so he doesn't run through her. And it was kind of redemption for Huey's girlfriend in the beginning of the series. Like it just shows how the character's grown. I actually really enjoyed that they did that way. It was like just to show how he grew as a character throughout the show. That strong friends coming. I mean, it's a possibility. Um, Stormfront. So in the comics, Stormfront is like isn't a chick. They gender swapped, and in the comics, it's 1,000%. You can tell it's a Nazi. Like it's in the comic book, Stormfront is actually like your typical, like if you think about the German scientist who is all into the evil stuff, right? It's that's what Stormfront is in the comics. It's completely different from the show. But they changed her. They changed it to a girl in the show and made it the love interest and all that, which was interesting. She was an interesting character. I always get a kick out of Soldier Boy, Anson, whatever his name is, or not Anson, Ansel Jenkins, or whatever the fuck his name is. He's interesting as hell. That's a crazy ass character. But yeah, the boys. Like I said, some stuff. There's people who watch it, and that's cool. They like the show or whatever. The comic book is much nastier. I'll be honest with you. They couldn't if they put half the stuff in the comic on the small screen, it would be it would not be good. We'll just say it that way. It just wouldn't be that good. It would be canceled. It would have been canceled like in the second season. Really? You know what? I didn't even catch that. You think she's coming back? Um, you know what? It would be kind of poetic justice now that you mention it in the framework of the show. If they had her come back and take out Homelander, like they kill each other, because it would be payback for where she was all jacked up. And the other part of it wasn't she because you have the V1, which is what Soldier Boy has running through him. Isn't Stormfront one of the ones that has V1 in her too? So who knows? Maybe maybe she'll have that regenerative power where she can come back. But then again, Soldier Boy just wrecked that one dude in was it the last episode? Or was it the episode before? He wrecks the one guy who's stuck in the wall that's making everybody hate each other when they're looking for the V1. They have a devil's triangle with her. I don't think so. I mean, like Soldier Boy even said it when he first started sleeping with what's her name with Firecracker. He was like, I was doing this as some petty revenge shit towards Homelander, but you know what? You're all right, except for when you talk afterwards. So I don't know, but I do know that Soldier Boy definitely, I guess, was in love with her, right? Who was the other one? There was another chick, and she was played by Andrea on The Walking Dead. They killed her off in like an earlier season. I don't think she's coming back. I don't know Stormfront. I don't know if they'd go that route with Stormfront. Butcher doesn't turn himself into a soup either in the comics. But I did like the fact that they destroyed the virus Like once the dude found out, like, oh, Homelander didn't kill my wife, and he just starts destroying all the vials of the virus. I was like, oh, that's going to set you back. And then they got a culture where they've got to grow it. It's like, that's interesting. It slows everything down so you can get through the rest of the season, basically. And makes sense. Like, it actually made sense why he would do it. Um, what the hell happened to Maeve? She got jacked up. I think they think she was dead, and then she ended up going off with the girl and just living a life, and she was like, she was gimped up or something, like she got hurt really, really bad. I can't remember. I mean, the first season of The Boys is pretty much the comic book, and then it starts deviating. For the most part, it was the comic book in the first season, and then it started deviating bad. Which, again, some stuff from the source material you couldn't put on. You not that you couldn't translate it, it gets X-rated. Like, and they're pushing right up to the line on the show. But I mean, it gets super X-rated. She did get married to the girl. Yeah, she went off because she showed up during the battle with, wasn't it like Starlight and Stormfront, right? She showed up and helped her beat Stormfront, but she got hurt, I thought, and she was like, everybody thought she died or something, and then she like, they showed her go off with the girl that she always wanted to be with, but was like, look, I'm part of the Seven, I can't do it. The one I can't stand is Sister Sage. For whatever reason, that character just gets on my damn nerves. Like, I don't know what it is about that character. There's just something with her that I can't put my finger on, but she just annoys me. But she's always like, I always get a kick out of how she always has like a brilliant plan, and then Homelander just fucks it all up. Like, he comes in and just whatever she's got rocking and rolling, he comes in and tips into it and screws it all up. And you can always see it on her face, like, oh, Jesus. Really, dude? Fish tacos forever. Oh. Ah, man. I was actually a little surprised when Butcher killed the one chick. When Butcher killed her with the tentacles or whatever, the one congresswoman that could make people's heads pop. The one that ended up becoming, was she the president or was she the VP? I think she was the president, right? She ended up becoming the president. The woman that Huey ended up running her campaign and all that. It's like I said, hell of a deviation from the comic, but it became its own source, like its own thing. And I don't think they did a bad job with it. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's terrible either. It's kind of how I could picture if superheroes were real people. You know what I mean? More worried about bullshit and their PR rep than they are about humanity as a whole. Well, wouldn't it be Alexandria Ocasio Cortex at that point? Shouldn't that be what the girl's name is? Because she's using her mind to pop people's heads. Yeah, I know you don't watch any of the like Daredevil or any of that shit, right? Just the boys. All right, gotta get in here with. I'm gonna go charcoal on this. I need to go rebar on that. All right, so I'm going with charcoal 72155. I mean, people are saying I'm. I still say this: the movie I'm probably most excited for coming up is going to be the Street Fighter movie. Not because I think it's going to be a cinematic masterpiece, just because it looks like they actually captured the arcade game in it. Yeah, I can't blame you for canceling Disney Plus. The original Daredevil was 1,000 times better than the new Daredevil. Um, the best season, in my opinion, of any Marvel show was Daredevil season 2 with the Punisher when they brought the Punisher in. Just the way it was done, the rooftop scene, the argument when he's got Daredevil chained up, just the discussion between the two of them. It just it captured the essence of both characters perfectly. All right, brother. Fly well. Thank you. I always appreciate you, mister. Always appreciate you. Get some rest and please have a safe flight. Make sure you bring back some maple syrup with you. Oh, dear Lord. That's one banged up wheel, I'll tell you what. Almost felt like I should white wall the interior of the tire. Mm, I don't know if I want to white wall that. Half tempted to, though. Debating that. Do I want to white wall that? Texturing's weird on this tire, too. I know I'm going to have to get into my metallics to get to a rust color where the rebar. I also want to go heavy metal with it. Definitely want to hit some of these with a little bit of the metal scrag in there. Say that much. God, I hate doing the bases. Actually, that's not entirely true. Some bases I really enjoy. This one's more destruction, so I don't know. You do so much with it, but nothing crazy. Pretty standard. It's the ones that make you think outside the box, like the base is almost as important as the figure. This one's more just like I said, like, oh, look, the Juggernaut ran over a bunch of shit and broke it. And then the Medusa one's going to suck because it's just a giant ass rock. Like, oh, I'm doing a stone. Yay. I mean, I guess I could put moss and stuff on there with a flock gun or something, but I don't know. One, I'm not practiced enough with the flock gun, but two, I would have to really look at how the figure's sitting. Still debating if I want to white wall this tire or not. Let me look. I'm going to do a search, an image search. Do a search for a tire. Images. I mean, nowadays they don't have any kind of white wall to them, really. So it's just black all the way through. They have writing on there, maybe. But yeah, so I am going just black across this wall. Kind of sucks. Only thing I've got to be careful of is the actual rim. Try not to hit that. I did see a piece of axle sticking out on the other side that I'm going to have to hit in the silver, or in the oily steel, rather. Yeah, right here, the axle's coming through. Didn't even notice it. Well, I did notice it. I just didn't address it. Like an asshole. Everybody's so quiet. Damn, it's like 10:40. Damn, it's going to be a fast one tonight, huh, guys? I don't know what game I want to play tomorrow night either. Thinking about firing up like Star Rupture or Soul Mask. I haven't played either of them yet. Fired Soul Mask up for like a minute and then turned it off. Painting around that damn rebar is a pain in my ass. Trying not to blow it out. Damn, really? Alright, let's go tread. Go side to side and just wiping that tread a little bit more. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, I was like debating priming stuff, but I don't even think I'm going to prime stuff. It's one of those things where shut up and paint kind of comes in handy because I can just shut up and paint. All right. I've got a hose running through here. I've got rebar sticking up. I still got that metal spoke to nail. Let's nail out that metal spoke before I forget. That metal axle. Get in there with some brown. Well, I don't even have to get in there with brown, do I? Actually, I was thinking about going to a blue or a green on this pipe, but I think the silver works just as well. Or the steel, rather. Be careful and hit those ridges nice and gentle. Go over that and brown. So I got some brown to add in. Another pipe over. Shit, I got another pipe over here. Not to hit the dirt that's in there. Gentle, 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 gentle. Just want that pipe to break through just a little bit so you can see it underneath. I got more pipe. I got one more pipe over here. Want that pipe to look like it's half buried. That. Actually get in there a little bit. Yeah, because now it looks like it's winding through the bullshit. I'll go over that with brown. Clean that up. Go back to the burnt umber and clean up. The airbrush mix is liquidy, so I'm going to have to mix it and dilute it down. Just go in there and spot it up. Went a little heavier in spots, a little lighter in spots with the brush, and you're getting a decent texturing out of it. And I'm going to go over some of the silver with the brown on purpose. So this way it looks like it's in dirt. This way it's not just like a clean pipe. So give it a little bit more dirt here. So you can just see a little bit of that metal sticking out. That'll be Juggy's done here soon. Like I said, knew this would be kind of a quick stream tonight, which is fine. Got too much stuff cooking in the resin printer and everything else. Gives me time to work on other designs too and see what else is coming down the pipe. Some of these I'm going to have to cut down either a great deal or figure out exactly how I want to do them. Some models have some severe flaws to them. I've got to work them out. I've already had to do remeshing on, like the Evil End, for example. I had to remesh like 4 or 5 parts of it already. Thank God I learned how to use Blender, because it's an invaluable tool. I still got to hit all this rebar. Go. Yeah. Get in here and clean this up. Same thing for this little crack in here. Pull that out. Nice and easy. And I got to give it to the FDM, the plastic, and the Elegoo. Love Elegoo. Definitely awesome. I may go over that silver again. I think it's a little too much dirt on top of the pipe. Kind of just want it peeking through a little bit. A little heavier than that. It's the beautiful part about painting. Doesn't look quite right. You can always go back over it and clean it up. Just got to give it time to dry a little. I also want to get more silver on here, or more of the steel on here. Just want to hit. There's like little nicks in there I want to tag. Corner pieces and such. Where it's like got a jagged look to it. Looks like it's been a little snapped off. I don't want it to be crazy. A little distressed here and there. Shit got thrown around. These little, I call them souffle cups. Portion cups, I guess they're called. 2 ounces. Things are invaluable. 1 for a paint wash and 2 for a little bit of water, and the other one for the brush. Let's see. Right here needs to get cleaned up. and a little cleaner. Well, a little dirtier, but a little cleaner on the paint. See what he looks like on there before I go to the rebar. Not bad. Okay, now to nail out that rebar, I think I'm going to go to, I know I don't want to go gold with it. I'm going to go with, I think it's called aged metal. Let me look. Let me look in these metallics. There it is. 77138. Rusty metal. Where are you? 7138. Oh, so this is out of my true metallic set. It's rusty metal 77.138. This stuff had a pretty good look to it if I remember correctly. Let me go to a smaller brush too. Take it down to a, what am I looking at, a 4? A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. The Vallejo metallics are unbelievably good. Like after using them, I can't picture using anything else, although I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here heavy with this rusted metal, and then I'm going to come over the top of it with some kind of either silver or see if I've got something that looks almost a pewter. I don't know. I got to see how this looks because it's a little bit too brown in my opinion. It seems like they kind of blend in. They pop because of the metallic in there, but I kind of want to give them more of a dark steel look. I want that rusted look to them, but at the same point in time, I definitely want a dark look to them so they poke out a little bit. And I'll just do a spot layer, I like to call it. I don't know what it's actually called. Maybe it is called a spot layer. Who knows? But do a small layering here and there. Just spot it on there for whatever dark metallic I'm going for. Also, I got to change out this paper. I'm shredding right through it. There's a piece here. It's almost too copper looking. I don't even know if I'd call it rusted metal on the base version. I think I would call it more of a copper. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is way too copper looking. So, I mean, it's a darker copper, but it's half of what I wanted. I'm definitely coming back in here with some kind of darker silver something, pewter almost color to it, and I'll get overlaid, make it look good. All right. Okay. Let's. Anything else floating around here? Just make sure I've got my base layer on. All right. All right, let's get that rusty. Where the fuck did I just do with that rusty metal, right? All right, this is the base version of Obsidian Black is what it's called. 77.14. This side of the True Metallics as well. And I will do the spotting up of these rebar pieces with it. Gives it a dark texture or dark appearance. A little bit of that copper coming through on it. Gives it more of a grimy, greasy, industrial kind of feel. So this way it's not as brassy. Not as shiny and all that. Not as coppery, whatever. Feels more like piping that's broken. There's a bit on the distressed end. Try not to go too crazy with this. Because I will just cover up all of the copper in that. And that is not what I'm aiming for. Looks like a beat up screw. Actually, let me see if I can't hit this. I'm going to come in here with a little bit of this obsidian black on these as well. Just enough to give it a little roughness and a little, almost like it's been burned. Hidden along the surface. So we're not pure one color or another. Got that little nuance to it. Right there's where I need color to go in. Now it looks a little bit more like the I-beams in particular. Damn, what is up with this camera? There it goes. Now the I-beams actually look like they've taken kind of a beating too. So they're not as clean. Like I was saying with the rebar, you can see it. You can still see the coppery poking through. That's definitely a lot cleaner, or a lot dirtier, dingier, without erasing the coppery underlying tone of that. That'll finish off, I believe. Is that everything? That is pretty much everything for his base. So let's see what he looks like on there. Oh, come on. You can get on there, Juggy. There we go. So if we turn him, get him in camera shot. Yeah. Now it looks like he has stomped the shit out of a building, a car, whatever, running away from it. Get that focus in. So we're looking at, just looks like pure destruction under his feet. This color is off from that color, which is good. That's what I wanted. The helmet still looks like smashed steel, so Juggy's done. And then I got a rock. Or what is up with? I really need to sand down that baseline or something. Yep, Juggernaut's full paint now. So good on that. You can get put away. Oh, and a rock. All right. All right, so we're just going to do the same thing here. I already have my colors out. I don't. I'm actually going to use a airbrush black, I believe that is. Let's see. Yep, 71057 airbrush black. And I'm just going to go in and hit these spots real quick. This shouldn't take long, and then you guys can enjoy the rest of your night. Stop being bored watching me. Make sure I'm shooting clean. I am. Just going to be a pain in the ass once I get this black in here. All right. Need a ton of this, just a little. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Get in these little recesses. What the hell's up with that? Why is that so separated? I'm going to Blow this out real quick with water. That paint is not holding up well. It's not atomizing the way it's supposed to. So it's like there's paint thinner stuck in there. Clean that out. Yeah, that paint didn't even adhere. And this thing is 100% been primed too, so that paint should have just grabbed. Like it grabbed a little bit there and there. It was ugly. It was real ugly. Really shake the shit out of this stuff, I guess. That shit was just flat out liquid. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Hopefully it comes out better now. Not, I'm gonna have to mix in. There we are. And that shit's acting like now the pigment's stuck in there. What the fuck? Just not enough paint. Barely putting anything in here because I barely need anything out of it. It's not. That is a jam. That is absolutely jammed. Wow. First I'm coming out like liquid. Now I got fucking mud in there. Now I got some serious tar in this baby. Try mixing this up a little better. Come on. Let that shit build up a little pressure. I think that's got it. That's got it. Now we're atomizing. That should do it. Give that a minute to dry. And now I'm getting blasts. Wow, that's crazy. Absolutely no one watching. Yeah, like I said, definitely a part of me that's like, maybe I should just stop live streaming and start doing this as videos. Just stop altogether. Never stop painting. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, with nobody watching, I can actually give spoilers now on what happens on season 2 of Daredevil. So basically, the whole show is a fight for the heart of the city between Mayor Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, and Daredevil. And Daredevil, at the end of the series, basically they go into court and they caught Daredevil's girlfriend, love interest, however you want to call her, and she's going on trial. Matt Murdock shows up. It puts Kingpin on the stand to testify, then reveals he's Daredevil. The faction of the city that backs Daredevil start raiding the courthouse. Kingpin's faction or whatever. It's actually just Kingpin. He's fighting his way out, but the Attorney General offers Kingpin a deal. If he'll just leave the city, then he won't prosecute him. That's the deal. Daredevil gets him to accept the deal. They come and arrest Daredevil after, like, I don't know, it's like a month because he's healed up. Daredevil ends up going to jail. The Kingpin ends up on a beach. And that's pretty much how it ends. Ben Urlich's, I can't remember if it was her granddaughter or what, or his granddaughter or what, but she ends up taking his spot at the newspaper. And yeah, it's kind of a shitty ending. Daredevil in jail. So I don't know what the Punisher thing's going to be, if it's him breaking Daredevil out of jail or what. But it should be interesting. Where am I? I don't want German gray. With neutral gray. Give him my fat brush. I'm just feathering over this. That neutral gray. And because I didn't let the black, I didn't want it to dry all the way. I'm actually able to kind of wet blend it to an extent. Just real nice and gentle over it. So this way it's pulling out into the rest of the rock. Dark recesses in there. There we go. So really show off the cracks in the rock. I'm going to have to go over it again with a lighter color as well. But I want that rock that we pulled out. Just straight up, very simple, guys. I'm leaving the paint a little bit wet. You can drag it with the other paint and mix it natural. And make sure you're keeping your brush. You don't want it pressed in and all jammed in there hard. You want it nice and light. You're just feathering over it, almost like you're dry brushing. but enough to catch that wet paint and pull it out to give it a unique color gradient across the board. Over here is a little drier, so I'm not going to get as much of the black mixed in, which is fine. It'll make it look unique. But I can see in here this is still wet. When I get into that part, it should clean it. It should pull out a little bit better than down here. It's going to cover a lot more. But as long as you're keeping it light, you're going to be able to leave those dark recesses in the rock, in the stone, and give it a little bit of character. A lot of this is not rocket science, just how much pressure you're using on your paintbrush. You don't need to go super hard with it. If it's not picking up enough color for you, put a little bit more pressure. If it's picking up too much color, less pressure. Again, not rocket science. If it's not having the desired effect, well, you can always reset. Start over again from scratch. You can see anywhere it's smooth how well that paint's grabbing. And that nice stone color. Don't be afraid to go over it a bunch of times either till you get it to where you want your transitions. Like I'm going back in here heavy because I came that way heavy. Just to get in there. Same thing for up here. You want those contrasts to the contrasting black. I think that's what it's called, to kind of define your recesses in the stone. Give it a more organic type feel. Which is crazy to say because a rock is a mineral. Same thing for over here. Don't want to go too heavy with it, just enough. Then when I hit it with a little bit lighter gray, which will probably be that airbrush gray would be good, I'm going to go even gentler or more gentle and pull out more of the ridges. And then when I hit it with the white, I should really pop it. Yeah, there we go. Almost there. Now I've got a whole smooth spot in here that is just a plain gray primer that's got to get done too. Hopefully you guys can see. Hopefully I'm not able to look at the camera or the chat or anything, but hopefully you guys can see the difference in the rock. From the smooth parts, the primer part. Don't part I just grayed. Same thing, I got way too much black in here. Clean that up. Get rid of this primer gray. Polishing a rock. Actually, I'm polishing a piece of plastic to look like a rock, but okay. Whatever you say there, jackass. We're not looking bad. Not looking bad at all. I'm gonna have to okay, I'm gonna go to the lighter gray, and I'm going real gentle with this light gray. Don't need a crazy amount with it. And again, I'll highlight in the dead white. Just want to hit little spots here and there. Actually, to tell you the truth, this light gray may be enough to do it where I don't need the light. I didn't realize how light this stuff was. I've got it pulled back further than I did with the dark gray, so I can just hit the, you guys can kind of see when I start hitting. Just trying to hit the highlight. Probably would be better doing this with a dry brush, to be honest with you, but it's fine, this works. And anywhere I get where it's a pretty solid hit, I'm just taking the excess paint that I got there, pulling it out across the whole model. Wow, this is going to be a quick as hell night, isn't it? I could learn to shut my yapper as much, I wouldn't be wasting as much of you guys' time. I think whatchamacallit said it best. One dude who called me a panikin. I think I was the one that said STFU. Pretty sure it was. Maybe he's right. Maybe I just need to shut the fuck up and paint. I don't want to do 2 dead air shows in a row, so I'm going to keep talking shit while I'm painting. Again, it's love of the game and love of the painting. Seeing what the paint's going to do to the thing you're painting when it lays on there correctly. And that's the apex of it. And let's take a look. It doesn't look like gray plastic anymore. I gotta be real gentle when I do this next part. Ivory, I believe, is what I used. That's white. Oh, what the hell did I do with the ivory? Dead white. It's black. It's model white. That's hardcore white. Here's ivory. Real gentle like. Really gentle. I'm barely loading the tip of this brush. And just barely touching it. Just enough to get a little bit of that white to highlight the absolute tippity toppities. Like, went in there a little heavy there. Okay, I can pull that out and bring it down. Back a little bit. Don't have to go crazy with it this time. Nice and gentle. And this ridge line here. Little toning right in here. Again, just barely hitting this. Not being as thorough with it. Just barely touching it. Pretty much does it. I told the wife that was going to be an easy one to knock out. I was just too lazy to fucking do it when I actually did the whole rest of the model. Just painting for 10 hours straight will do that to you, person. All right. Well, now I got a mess to clean up. This, I'm going to say those paper towels have had it. If my dog's looking at me like, Daddy, you all right? You sure you're fucking done, Daddy? Yeah, Popper, I'm done. That's set for next time. So I got that base. And then we got Jug's base. Juggernaut's base. This base. Now I just got to figure out why I'm so fucking retarded. Put stuff where I can't get to it. Do that. That'll gray the screen, I'm sure, for you guys, but that's fine. And boom. I love it. I can either get a ton of views or I can get a ton of watch time. Can't get both. Do both what, bub? All right, so that can go back in the wife's room. At least get you guys a shot of what Juggy looks like. Juggernaut's base with him on it. I'll try to anyway. He is a pain in the ass because of the angle he's running at. Right about there with the camera. You guys can actually see the screen in the background. That's hysterical. Bend it out this way so I'm not picking up the screen because it's focusing on it. That'll bring up the angle a little. Yeah, now we're talking. Fucked up tire. God damn this fucking shit. I'm gonna have to sand off his base at the bottom. You can see something. There we go. Now I can actually spin him. Bring up the camera a little for you, bub. There we go. There's our juggernaut. One done. Let's see, kill down the light a little. Yeah, I think that's got him. Pretty badass. That's got it. Let's take a look. See if I can't bend it down so you guys can see his face. Just not even fucking around. Juggy looks like he's about to kill 3 people. Oh. Uh-oh. That wasn't good. That was an oopsie. Hopefully I can get the camera back. I fucked that up. There he goes. There he fucking goes. Pulled the wire. Yeah, I think that looks like exactly what destruction should look like if Juggernaut's running through. Well, anybody got anything for me? Anything interesting? Anything exciting? If not, it's a quick night. Thank you, Six. And by the way, Six, I'm sorry about the other day. I didn't even turn on my chat, so I had no idea that you had dropped in until after it was all said and done. If you go watch that Medusa stream at the very end, you'll hear it when I turn back on chat and look, and I'm just like, oh shit, Six dropped by. Smurf wanted to jump in here, have a conversation, all this kind of stuff. I was just like, damn. Can't believe I missed you, but yeah. Yeah, I finished out good old Juggernaut's face here with the broken tire and all the rebar and I-beams and everything else and rubble and dirt, piping. So. Yeah, another one down. You swung by on your way to bed. Yeah, I wasn't even expecting to stream Sunday. Matter of fact, I was going to originally private that stream and then cut it down into a video. So it would have been like a 10-minute video. So what's that? Like 1 minute out of every hour I was painting or whatever. And then it just, I don't know why, I got a shit ton of views on it. So I was like, well, I guess I'll leave it. But I felt bad because like Smurf wanted to come in and bullshit on Discord and stuff, and I haven't talked to Smurf in a minute. And like I didn't even realize he was there. When's your next banger coming out, Six? When can we expect your next beating the hell out of the drums in the drum room? I thought about priming my other models tonight, but I think I'm going to save them. Might as well wait until Evil Lynn's done before I go hit these three. That Dr. Doom is going to be a bitch. The cape alone is going to take me like 2 hours. At least 2 hours. Dear Lord, because I'm gonna brush that one. I'm not even going to airbrush. Well, maybe I will airbrush it, but his cape's going to be brutal. You DJing? Good money for a DJ during wedding season, brother. I know that firsthand. I've done weddings. I did one. Actually, tell you the truth, Six, my favorite time DJing ever. That's what you're doing. I had these people. It was a friend of mine, ex-girlfriend's friend's parents. Wanted to hire a DJ. And I was working the bar and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, hey, would you DJ my parents' party? I was like, yeah, sure. And she's like, look, they'll pay you by the hour, all this stuff. I said, no, I don't want any pay. I was like, I'll do it as a friend because you're a friend of my girlfriend's. I'll do it for you, right? And like this girl, like no lie, she was an awesome person. She was always good to me. She was like, you know how you have the girlfriend that has all the friends that don't like their boyfriend? This girl was one of the ones that really like was happy that the girl was with me. And she was always sticking up for me and shit. And I always really enjoyed her company. She was cool people. So I went and I asked the parents before the party, I was like, okay, you know, like a week before, what do you guys want? And they're like, look, we're into Motown. We like oldies. We like the classics and all that. And I have like my long hair. I'm like, you know, ripped jeans, all this kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, I don't know if you're the right DJ. I said, no. You want Motown and stuff? I got you. I was like, you want classics and oldies and stuff? Man, I had so much fun playing nothing but like Gladys Knight and the Pips, like Marvin Gaye, like all this old school Motown, all these old dance classics, like Run Around Sue, and hitting them with all kinds of different old school stuff. And at the end of the night, her parents came up and they're like, how much do we owe you? I'm like, you don't owe me anything. I'm packing up my stuff and everything else. Party's over. Everybody had a great time. And they kept trying to hand me money. And I'm like, no. I'm doing this, And I was like, they're like, yeah, we were wrong about you. You're an amazing DJ. You knew what the crowd wanted at all times. You knew how to switch up, what everybody was kind of feeling at that time. And going into different songs, and you really brought back some memories. You really like knocked it out of the park. Like, I'm good. I don't need money for this. So I get in my car or whatever. I'm about to go. And my girlfriend, she had already left. My girlfriend's friend comes up to the window and knocks on it. I'm like, what's up? She goes, yeah, my parents told me you wouldn't take any money. I said, no. I told you I wasn't going to take money for this. And she dropped, it was $600, throws it in my lap. She said, my dad said, you're taking it. And she goes, and I'm telling you, you have to take it or else I'm going to be against you with my, dating my girlfriend forever. And I was just like, all right, whatever. But I didn't even count the money. And I was like, thank you. Tell your parents thank you. I had a great time, everything. Got home and counted the money. I was like, damn, they gave me $600 fucking dollars for it. Probably one of the most fun events I ever did, though, was a classic Motown night with old people. Like, not old people. Back then, I would have said they were old people. Now they're like my age. Like, they're in their mid-50s to early 60s. You know what I mean? Well, actually, I'm in my early 50s, but they were in their mid-50s to early 60s. And these people they enjoyed the shit out of themselves. People were coming up requesting a song. Like, I know you probably don't have this song, but do you have? And I'd be like, oh yeah, by this, that was done back in this date, and like listing out date, everything else and pulling it up. It's coming up next, ma'am. Oh, well, here, and trying to tip me $5. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. To this day, I don't talk to them anymore. I don't talk to any of my exes. When I got married, that's it. My exes are my exes now. Like, they're locked in. Even if we were good friends, I'm going to part on the best of terms, but I'm married now. It's disrespectful to my wife, right? And even to this day, I'll get on Facebook every now and again. I'll get a message from my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend's friend. That'll be like, yeah, are you still in New Jersey? My parents are throwing a party, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I can't do it. I'm not there anymore. But yeah, that shit was fucking great. Like, it was definitely one of my favorite DJ times. Doing Halloween at the bar was another one. That was fantastic. I got tipped out there. Man, I made tons of tips for sitting there drinking and watching, making girls dance in their skimpy costumes. Well, that's just it, Six. Like, the whole thing is, if you're going to be doing that kind of work, because I did cooking too from the time I was 14 till 29, I think. Bubba's still in the chat, he'll tell you. Um, but I started DJing, God, in my mid 20s. Because the one bar the DJ called out, they were in a tight spot. They called me up, said, hey, you know most of the music and stuff like that. And most of the people in the bar, I said, yeah. And they're like, look, I've got a CD deck and a bunch of mixed CDs and stuff like that. Do you want to do this? Yeah. And then came in and he gave me money. I was like, I was just doing it to help out the bar because I shot pool for them. They were always very good to me. And he's like, yeah, I want you to come in every Sunday from now on. So I started doing like every Saturday, every now and again, if the main DJ called out, I'd do Saturdays, but mainly Sundays. And I of course, we're talking in the time of Napster, all that kind of stuff, like just past that time when everything was still MP3. So I had everything on my computer and on an external hard drive, and figured out you could just plug into the audio jack into the PA system through your audio card in my old laptop. And so I would plug it into, I had oh God, what the fuck are they called? A receiver, right? The receiver, I would go output to the PA system. Then I would jack into the receiver from my computer out through the audio card on it, on my laptop. And I would just be able to play anything. And people would be saying to me like, yo, this new song just came out. Like, oh God, I'm trying to remember what had come out at that time. Shake It Like a Salt Shaker, you know, like stuff like this. Like, yo, you got Yin Yang Twins. Do you have this? And I'd be like, I don't have it, but I'll have it for you next week. And so I'd go home, hit the internet, grab the song real quick, download it. And then next week I'd see that girl come into the bar or whatever, and I'd play her song. Stuff like that. I got to be known as an all right DJ. Well, that's just it. We had nights. It would be funny because the worst DJs, what I noticed was the bad DJs is really where I learned. Because I watched somebody else go up there and they would play their own fucking music, or they would play music that they liked, obscure stuff and everything else, or like hardcore metal or whatever. And there might be one guy in the bar like thrashing his head, but all the girls were sitting on their hands. And it's like, that's great. You like that music and everything else, but you have to look at your audience. And it would be funny because when I'd set up the DJ, you would have like, it's an old redneck bar, but at night it was like college town bar kind of deal. Like the college kids were home. So during, you know, when I'd come up and set up, you just hear, usually my opening song would be, blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. And you'd get the old heads. You'd play some old country, some 1970s rock and roll and stuff like that. And then as the old heads are rolling out, you would get the younger crowd in. And then it was just all the stuff that to get the girls to dance. The more girls danced, the more guys bought drinks for the girls. The more the girls drank, the more they danced. The more the music was good, the more they danced. Yeah, the more money came into the bar, more money the actual owner would tip me out. And the bartenders would try and tip me out. I'd say, no, you guys always take care of me on my drinks and stuff. You know, they were always great, but the owner, I got to give it to him, Bruce. If you're ever listening to this, man, I love you, brother. And, you gave me a shot and told me I could do it when I didn't think I could. For requesting what, the Dead Kennedys. God damn, what is the one song? Punk Rock Girl. I've gotten requested that before. I think it's Punk Rock Girl, isn't it? Is that the name of the one Dead Kennedy song? It's like the only popular one, like poppy one. Yeah, I got tipped $20 one night because all the guys at the bar, he was calling, Bruce was the guy who was overseeing everything. And I'll never forget, all the guys at the bar were like, oh shit, we don't want him to shut it down. I got an idea. And they tipped me $20 to play. I was like, I don't know, man. We might piss him off with that one. They're like, yeah, here's $20. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to play it. And I'm going to tell him I got tipped $20 to play it if he gets mad at me. We put on, what was it? ELO, Don't Bring Me Down. But you know how that song goes? Don't bring me down, Bruce. Don't bring me down, Bruce. And like everybody's singing it and like screaming Bruce at him. And like he's just like looking at us like, you son of a bitch. Yeah, he's fantastic, man. Like that whole bar, he had gone. Hey, man, he really did know how to run a bar for a little while there. He was just great to this day. I'll never complain about those guys. They were all great people. I'm still friends with a lot of the bartenders and stuff. I shut down my little side screen. But yeah, it just like I said, good memories. You know, it's what happens when you get fucking old. Don't get old six. Anyway, I think it's a good place to call it a night. Be back tomorrow night. Um, I don't know what game I'm going to play. I'll play something. And then going forward with streaming, I should be back Thursday, 8 p.m. painting. Maybe I'll be back earlier. Maybe I'll be back later. I don't know. I'll decide tomorrow. I'm kind of spent. But you guys, like I said, I can't believe there's 141 subs on this channel. I can't believe people message me on the side and stuff about my painting and everything else. I appreciate every last one of you. I'm also super shout out to basically everybody who creates art, whether it be music, painting, modeling, whatever you're doing. If it's art, it's not easy. It's not always easy. And you just got to stick with it. You're going to get better over time if you're struggling or what have you. You may not become famous, you may not become rich, but if you love it, then you're never broke. But I appreciate everybody. And thank you guys for tuning in, liking, sharing, subbing, all that fun stuff that you YouTubers are supposed to say. But I do just appreciate it. 6, I can't wait to hear your next banger. I'm not going to lie. You're fucking amazing on them drums, dude. Keep it up. But I'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And like I said, I don't know what I'm going to play, but I'll play something. And thank you guys. Everybody hang in there. Always be creative. Thank you again. And most importantly, don't take shit from anybody. Good night, guys. And thank you again. I appreciate all of you.